Hello everybody, this is a Lamley unboxing. Probably one of the more unique unboxings I've done because I'm going to unbox my own stuff. I was just going through some stuff right now. I'm actually in the old studio. You probably haven't seen me in this location in a long time, and that's because I'm rarely here anymore because it's no longer my studio. These are still on the walls, the Carney display cases, but they're going to come down soon. My little workbench here, it's going to go away. It's going into a new room eventually, but it's taking me a while because I've been so busy to move everything. And ultimately, I was going through some stuff and I was like, oh, I got some cool stuff here. It might be kind of fun to make a little video out of this. So it's a little bit of a different kind of video. You're looking at newer Super Treasure Hunts. These are the Super Treasure Hunts that Mattel sent me. Some of these have just been out. A couple of them are coming out, like the Porsche. And you know, I pull these out when I'm doing unboxings and I show them and Mattel sends them. And then the intention is, one of the reasons they send them is that at the end of the year, I will rip all these open as part of the Lamley Awards and we'll vote on them and kablah, kablah, kablah. So they send them to me when they get them so that I can do the feature and then, yeah, and then I can show them at the end of the year. But you might say, well, John, you know, you open everything. I don't. I do have a very small carded collection, and I'm narrative oriented. I like stories. And so this box here is a bunch of stories. And I'm actually going to be adding a few more stories to this box. And I thought, well, why not do a video where I'm telling the stories? This is a hot case. I don't know if you're familiar with hot cases. They're kind of cool. I only have one. I stole this from Wheel Collectors years ago. And you can store just basic carded stuff in these, and they're very nice. But like I said, they're probably better when you have a bunch of them. But let me show you this. And I think I've shown this case before, but I don't know if I've shown it in this capacity where I've actually kind of gone through it a little bit. But this is a case of mostly supers. There's a few exceptions to the rules, and most of these supers, with some exceptions to the rule, are supers that I found over the years. I mean, we're talking sometimes 10, 11, 12, maybe even 13 years ago. Some supers I've opened because they're the only ones I had. Others I've given away or sold or whatever. But for the most part, so these are some of the more, well, these are super fine. So I thought I would go through them because I have a few more, as I said, stories to add. And these are the supers I found last year. And there might have been a couple others that I ended up having to open. But CVS in Salt Lake City, the first CVS find I've ever had. I actually went in for a prescription, ended up finding that. Moab City Market, which has been a honey hole for me. This was in a dump bin. I think I've documented these in shorts. This is one of the first Target supers I have found in a long, long time. Target in Sandy, Utah. Surprised because that was like midday. I was going through there and checked the pegs. This was in a very rural market. I can't remember what it's called. Stewart's maybe, in Castledale, Utah. Mining town, way out in the middle of nowhere. Pulled that one from a dump bin, a very small grocery store sized dump bin. And then this one was in a Dollar Tree. Might have pulled this one from a case that was being put out. So I want to add these to my box of stories. And that's exactly what this is. So if you look here, I've got some, like, these are not supers, obviously. I remember I bought these actually because a Kroger store, Smith's here in Utah, was clearancing them. They'd hung on the pegs forever and ever and ever, and they were clearancing them for like $2, so I bought them. Here is, I never found my favorite super ever. I think I bought this on Whatnot. I think I might have bought a couple on Whatnot, maybe one on eBay, one on Whatnot. So there are some that I actually ended up acquiring just because I wanted carded versions of them. So same with the others. But if I go through the others, I can actually tell the stories. Now, I'm not going to get into too many details, but some of them are very interesting. For example, and I'm going to be adding these others. These two I found at two different Dollar Trees in two different towns on the same day. And that makes sense. The cases were probably delivered about the same time because the towns were about an hour apart, Roosevelt and Vernal, Utah, as I was traveling through those. So I found those on the same day. I think I remember all these stories. And that's what I'm saying. The fun thing about Super Treasure Hunts, they're fun to find, and they're fun to find when, you know, it wouldn't be as fun to do it as a mail-in. I do pull them out of unboxings, and it's always fun to pull them out of an unboxing, but it's way more fun to find them in the wild, so to speak. Like this one, Moab, Utah, once again, City Market in a big four-sided bin. I actually found my very first car culture chase with this one, the Dodge van, and I was with a colleague, a work colleague. We had dinner, and we were talking about stuff, and I said, hey, we could walk over to City Market and you can try it. And sure enough, boom, there was one in there. One of the Dollar Tree, same one where I found the Kafer Racer. Actually found this one, bottom of the pegs. If you go way back in my shorts videos on YouTube or Instagram, you will see that video. I think you'll see all of these. This one I think I just acquired. This one I pulled from an unboxing, if you remember. So fun, but just an unboxing. Acquired this one. Acquired that one. Don't know exactly how. Okay, here's one of my best stories. Because this one, while it's a great super, and this is from 2012, CityWorks 70 Chevelle SS Wagon. What's cool about this is nice. It's a nice casting. It's a very nice super here with the gold steelies and whatnot. But what's cool about this one is this is one of the rare times, and I'd have to remember if there's been any others, where I actually found two different super treasure hunts at the same store at the same time. This one was in a dump bin at a Walmart in Ephraim, Utah. Most of you know, I don't know if you know, I travel for work and I tend to be out in smaller towns just around Utah. But, and then and so I found this one. This is way back when, 2012 or whatever. This was in a dump bin and I was shocked to find it. Then I walked over to the pegs, nothing in the pegs. And then I walked over to a small end cap and there was some Hot Wheels there. And a few back, and this was years ago, so I didn't do any shorts on this one. I don't even think I shot any videos. Guess what was with this one, what I found with this one? That one. This exact super. Look how crisp it is still, too. Found it in 2012. This one was on the end cap. I remember looking through it, and I'd already found the Chevelle wagon, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I found those two together in the same store, same Walmart. So that was one of my best finds ever. So let me put that one back. This row's got some monsters in it. All right, let's make sure I get all this right. I'll put it off to the side for now. All right. I think one of these I pulled international case. There it is. That's the international case. This one I pulled in an A&J Toys unboxing, the Audi RS6 Avant. Love this casting. And this one, sorry, I always want to try and put them back right. This one, if I remember correctly, at a now defunct Shopco in Roosevelt, Utah. And Shopco didn't carry a lot of pegged Hot Wheels, but this one was amongst them. And again, this was how many years ago? 2018. It was one of those new super treasure hunts, which is a rare thing to see. Dollar General in Moab, Utah. This one was a surprise. I actually pulled it. It was way in the back. It was a very dark store, kind of, you know, Dollar Generals can be kind of dark actually. And I pulled this one, and I pulled it out, and I did not see that kind of gold color, and I thought it was just the regular, and I actually pushed it back, and I said I should just look again. And sure enough, it was the super treasure hunt. I was not unhappy about that, as you can probably imagine. This one I just acquired. It's very old. This one I think I may have pulled from a case. I was actually trying to remember. I don't know if I think I just acquired this one. This one, these, all Dollar Trees, all I think on the same day as well. Castledale, Utah. I don't know which one is which. Castledale, Utah. Family Dollar. Did I say Dollar Tree? I meant Family Dollar. Price, Utah. It's now closed. Actually, Helper, Utah. It's now closed for you Utah people. No longer exists. The Family Dollar that I found that one in. And this one, I am trying to remember, but it was another Family Dollar. It might have been Wendover, Utah. And it wouldn't have been the same day then. I'm trying to remember the third one. I'll have to go back. But I know I found these all at Family Dollars. They were all getting the case, and I think every one that I went to ended up having one of these. This one might have been in Price, Utah as well. I don't remember, but I found them all at the same time. All at Family Dollars. We'll skip this row because that's all the powerhouses. This one was an acquisition. This one was it GameStop or whatever the cases came? Maybe it wasn't a Kroger case. It was one you could order. So I think it might have been GameStop that you could order the cases. And I actually pulled this one from one of their cases. I think it was GameStop. It wasn't Kmart. Very happy to find that one. But that was an unboxing video. Here's a powerhouse. Moab, Utah Dollar Tree on my way back from the gathering. And I don't know why I posted this video and I got a lot of grief for it. I think probably because people really wanted to find the gold nugget, and I was very shocked to find it. I actually found a Matchbox chase in the same pegs. I shot that video. You can go back and find it. It would have been dropped in July. Maybe it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever this was out. This is what, 2021, so maybe 3 years ago. But fantastic, fantastic model. Obviously, one of the more legendary super treasure hunts. And I pulled that one it was in the back, and you can see the video. I was very surprised to find that one in Moab Dollar Tree. This one goes way back, 2012 again. I had a really good year in 2012. Dollar Tree again, Richfield, Utah. I remember pulling this one way, way, way back, obviously. That was an acquisition, never found the gasser. I believe this one was an acquisition as well. So we're going back on some of these super treasure hunts. This one sadly was an acquisition. Sadly, because I didn't have the fun to find it. This is one of the great stories. Another great super treasure hunt. Walmart, Cedar Hills, Utah. And I was in that Walmart. I used to live over there before I moved to Salt Lake City. It's just a suburb of Salt Lake. And the cases with the Honda S2000 Super Treasure Hunt, a casting I loved, a big fan of Rio, as you know. This was a car I really wanted, and so I was like, I went into Walmart. So I went into Walmart, the pegs were full. I started looking through them, but they looked like they had been gone through. And no joke here, when you've been collecting for as long as I have, you're going to get stories like this, like finding one at CVS, for example. As I was standing there in the pegs, a Walmart employee in charge of the toy section just walked up with this car and put it on the pegs. Just put it on the pegs. And I was shocked. I, of course, grabbed it. And I said, hey, where did this come from? And he said, oh, it was just on another shelf. I think a kid might have left it and I was just putting it back. My guess, knowing what I know, is that maybe someone thought they were going to get it, or saving for a friend and hid it somewhere, maybe. Or maybe a kid really did grab it and a parent said, hey, we're not buying one today, and just put it on the shelf and walked away. I have no idea. All I know is that the Walmart employee saw it on another shelf in the toy section, just walked over and pegged it while I was standing there. And I still have this. And when I say this is the exact one, it is this exact one. One of my rare non-Utah finds. This was Colorado. Oh, what town? It's in western Colorado. Glenwood Springs, Colorado Target. Stopping by on a trip to Denver with the family. We were getting some stuff at Target. I went and checked the pegs. What year was this? 2012 as well. And that was there. I love this casting, so I was really happy to find it. And I was shocked to find it in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. That's one of the fun things about these supers, is they tell stories of my travels as well. Same Dollar Trees, Roosevelt, Utah, Vernal, Utah. Found them, I think, maybe not on the same day, but at similar times when these were like cashier little bins that they had made, little sleeves or something they put out there. And I found both of these at the I think when the trucks drop them at one place, they drop them at the other, right? And so that's what that was. Make sure I get these in correctly. Price, Utah, Walmart, huge dump bin. I think I actually found 2 or 3 of these, and I think I've given a couple away or something like that. But I remember finding this one. I was shocked to find this one. This was like a 1 in the afternoon find. The Honda Civic, pretty sweet, super as well. And was very excited to find that one with the Gretti logo on it. Somewhat more recent, kind of. What year was this one? Oh, not recent at all. 2017. Moab, Utah, in one of those sidekick things that they put up. And that was in there. I think I filmed it, and at the time we weren't doing shorts or there was no TikTok, but I think I did film something. I don't remember. Roosevelt, Utah, Dollar Tree. Sense of pattern. I'm telling everybody where it is, but you have to get out to the small towns. And if you find him, you find him. Actually, I was in the Roosevelt, Utah Dollar Tree this week, and there was a collector who had asked for a case. And to see if they had a case in the back, they brought one out for him, and he found of all things, the Pajero Super Treasure Hunt. I congratulated him. And he said he was a new collector. That was cool. Just acquired that one. No, that was a unboxing. That was an unboxing. Unboxing video. Price, Utah, Walmart. You can see it's kind of scrunched. It was in one of those little sidekick things. I don't want to say sidekick, but those little, how do we call those things? The little slots, those little... Anyway, that Super Treasure Hunt was in there before M Motorsport. That was a cool find because I had not had very much luck in finding it, in finding supers in those Walmarts. All right. There we go. Okay, another fabulous story. Oh no, it's this one. So I acquired the 2000 GT. I'll just show it to you. But I actually found one. It's right there. I'm going to tell that story in a little bit because it's really funny. It had one of the great comments that I still laugh with our old neighbor. Price, Walmart. That's where I found it. Was shocked to find that one. Chevrolet SS, the Brazilian Chevrolet. Same price, Walmart. It was actually up high on a sidekick, and I actually found that one. Dollar General, Roosevelt. Dollar Tree, I mean, Roosevelt. Actually, almost missed this one. They were putting out a case. I asked if I could open it. They let me, so I did. Pulled things out. Almost missed it. You can find that one. There's a video on this one. This is one of the more destroyed supers I found. I found it in a dump bin. It wasn't destroyed in the dump bin. It was clearly destroyed in the packing process. I just remember it was like this in the dump bin, and I saw a Porsche 356 Outlaw. I knew that the Golf ones were there. Could have potentially be the Super, and I just remember I actually was filming, and I remember going, because it looked fresh, and I went, don't tell me this crunched one, and sure enough, it was the Super. But it's a cool story, right? So no complaints. It's still in my collection, so who cares? Vernal Walmart in a dump bin. One of those 3-slot dump bins. I remember that one. This one, same... Okay, this might have been the other times I found multiple supers, I think. This is the Ford Galaxy. It's a cool super. I think I found both of these. I know I found one at City Market in Moab, and then I found some other stuff at some other city markets, but I think I found these at the same city market in a big display. So that was that. What's this one? Same day. Same day. Found this one in a city market in Durango, Colorado. So that's where I found that one. Actually, I found one of these too. I don't know if I have both still. You know what? I think I do. Yep, I do. And I think I found a third one. I did. Okay, so if I can remember, one of these was found in a display in Moab, Utah City Market. A display or a dump bin in City Market, Durango, Colorado. This one may have been a separate day in a separate display. And I don't remember. It could have been same day. I'm not totally remember, but I know it was in the same area, but I found these all at City Markets. And City Market is a Kroger. It's a small town Kroger store. So let me put those back. Vernal Walmart. Walmart, Vernal, Utah. Kind of a cool mining town. That was in one of those like shelf dump bins, those really small dump bins, kind of at the holiday season. And then over here, okay, yeah, a couple more. This was also Moab City Market. Same work colleague. Happened to be, and my work colleague, total lucky, she found 2 super treasure hunts. She didn't want them. But that was one that she found in 2 different trips when we were out there working in Moab. Spanish Fork Walmart. Found a bunch of Xamax too, and I remember the Xamax being really cool, but this super was kind of not my favorite, but I wasn't going to complain about finding it. This, one of my... Now I have other finds, like I said, I have other Arizona finds, but these are my two Arizona finds in the same Safeway, Scottsdale, Utah. Scottsdale and Shea for you Arizonans. Visiting mom, who still lives in that area, and Thanksgiving time was sent to the market to get some things at Safeway. Went to the pegs, went, oh, they look pretty full, started looking around, and I pulled two supers on international cards. It was kind of a shocker. What year was this? 2020. Right smack down in the middle of the pandemic, but I pulled supers out of a Safeway, Scottsdale and Shea, if you're familiar. That was a shocker. I still have those. Those are not supers right over there. So let's go back to the murderer's row here. All right. Let's start over here. City Market, Moab, Utah. This one, I've told this story before, but it's a very cool story because this is one of the best supers ever done, is the Batmobile and with the Ghost Flames. It was a Zamac the same year. It's so rad. This one, I happened, and this is a bit of a Hot Wheels name drop, but at the time, and I just won't mention his name because I don't know. But at the time, the vice president of Hot Wheels, or the vice president of Wheels, who oversaw, I know Hot Wheels and Matchbox, maybe even Cars and some other stuff, I'm not totally sure, was out biking in Moab with another colleague at Mattel who I know, and they said, hey, we know you work out in Moab. I was like, I do, I'm actually there. And they said, we're out biking, you want to get a bite? So we met at Moab Brewery, had hamburger and beer. It was great. We had a fun night, chatting away on all kinds of topics. One of them, what he brought up is, he's like, hey, you know, my favorite Super Treasure Hunt is actually the Batmobile with the Ghost Flames. I said, that one is pretty sweet. Sure enough, after that dinner, I had to go and grab, I think, like toothpaste. I'm not kidding. These stories are true. And in a dump bin, found two of these at that City Market. Right after, you would think, you know, there's always the joke that these get planted for Lamley. That's about as close as you could argue, because the VP of Wheels was there. He didn't plant them, I promise you. He would have been as excited to find it as I would. This one's special. Friend of mine was, you know, this is going back how many years? 2013. Friend of mine was dealing with a very difficult situation with a child who was very sick, and thankfully made it back, but was on the brink of not making it, and really, really tough time. And he was a work colleague, and there were things to be, there was a point where things were looking good, and he's like, I'm going to try and get back to work. And I said, dude, you are not going by yourself. What we do is we go and visit clinics and stuff. And I said, you're not going alone. Let's go together, man. Let's have a nice chill day. You're coming with me. I got to drive out to this little town called Delta, Utah, out on the West Utah. You're going to come with me so we can just chat, hang out, man, you know, just have a good time. And it was a great day, just chatting and stuff. And as we were going, I was like, hey, let's hit the Dollar General and Nephi, and just kind of go. We went in, we're checking the pegs. I was telling him about Super Treasure Hunts, and sure enough, there was this fabulous super, one of the best supers, I think, the Moon Eyes Dodge Van Super Treasure Hunt. And we had such a fun time. There's a great picture of us. I'm not going to share it because I'll just keep his memories private, but there's a great picture of us just looking, just kind of a goofy picture we took, and you can just see in his eyes how tired he was from all of the stress, and things weren't totally out of the woods at that point. He had to end up taking a little bit more time off, but they made it out. And this always reminds me of that time. It was a rough time for him, but a fun memory for the both of us, and we still share it. So that was Nephi, Utah, Dollar General. Target, St. George, Utah. Really rare find to find these, but I'll also say, we've already covered the Ferrari here. I had 3 super finds in that Target in St. George, Utah, outside of Zion's Park, if you're familiar with St. George, north of Las Vegas. And then they were doozies. This one, the Chevy Silverado, and these two. How about that? Smooth grill, textured grill too. These were at different times, of course, but I did find these on the same day. and at that Target in St. George, Utah, obviously way back when. And then this one a little bit later. I think it was the same, might have been the same year. But I found those together. All right, just two others. Another doozy. Found these on the same day, two different stores, two different Walmarts. Walmart in Linden, Utah, in a massively full dump bin. And actually, I found one and another collector found another. And then the same thing happened in Payson, Utah, the same day. I went in while I was down there in the southern part of that area, and another collector showed up, and we both found Combi Super Treasure Hunts in the dump bins. So the other one I think I ended up opening, and it's in the collection, and then I've kept this carded one as a cool memory. And last, this is one of the funniest stories ever. Well, for me. Love this Super. Was very excited about it coming out. Toyota 2000 GT. It was the first time this casting. This casting actually was designed by Junimai to be part of a premium racing series, similar to Vintage Racing. It was going to have premium deco. I think we ended up seeing in the Toyota set in Car Culture later. That's one of the reasons that the Super has a metal chassis. It wasn't just as a premium thing. It was because they had these castings done, but that line was discontinued. It was a continuation of the line that the Greenwood Corvette debuted in and the E30 M3. There was going to be this. There was going to be a Safari 510, a bunch of other stuff. Some stuff that was made like this and other stuff that wasn't. Anyway, this Super Treasure Hunt, that's why it never says new model on it, because it wasn't officially a new model, because it was slated for a different line. Anyway, Super Treasure Hunt, definitely interested in getting it. My neighbor sends me a text. And this is what, 2012. Sends me a text and says, hey, I'm at Walmart. I know you're a collector. Do you want me to look for anything at the pegs? I said, yeah. Look for a red car, the Toyota 2000 GT. Look for if you see any that look different, like are a darker red, let me know. So she went to the pegs, and I get a text. She goes, yeah, they're pretty full, and I'm finding some Toyota 2000 GTs, and this one looks different. And she sent me this picture. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This was like 4 in the afternoon, Cedar Hills Walmart. And she said, yeah. And I said, yeah, buy that. What's funny, a couple of funny things about this. I guess that's not really a funny thing. First off, my neighbor, first time ever looking at the pegs, finding a legendary Super Treasure Hunt is one thing. The other thing is that a collector did show up. What she tells me is that this collector was watching her very closely and said to her, you're not much here. And she had this one in her hand. She goes, well, I think my friend might want this, my neighbor. So I'm going to check. And he's like, he probably doesn't. So the collector was really trying. I don't blame him. Didn't happen. And this came home to me. The other thing is I posted this picture, and I don't remember where. Could have been Facebook, could have been on the blog at the time, could have been, I don't know where. But there was a comment about someone who said, there's no way that story is true, that your neighbor found a Super Treasure Hunt. No one finds a Super Treasure Hunt, let alone a neighbor who just wanders into a store and finds them. I will never buy that your neighbor was just found a Super Treasure Hunt while she was buying lipstick and tampons. And the reason that's funny is because, well, I'll just say those would be the last two things that my neighbor would be buying. I'll just say it that way. And we have shared that line for a long time. And my neighbor, who we've since moved, but we're great friends, and many times when there's a reference to the store, there's always like, hey, make sure you pick up some lipstick and tampons. It's an inside joke. It was a funny comment, and it's kind of like kept this bond between us and the neighbors. It's always been, our neighbor, it's always been something that we've enjoyed, and it's a great story. There you go. I've got to make space for the rest of these. I might have to pull out this this spare group of Mercedes here, of Car Culture Mercedes. Let me just go ahead and let's see here. Don't want to be too casual with. There we go. With some of these, there we go. I'm gonna have to add. Maybe I'll pull out these extras over here. And I'll add my next round of stories. They're fun to tell, and they're great memories. And maybe that's not an element of, and maybe it's hard these days. You know, these supers are hard to find, but we do attach them to memories. And so while I don't have as many of these quote unquote memories anymore, just because I don't find them as much and they are hard to find, but at least I got to figure out where I'm going to put that one. I have these set of stories and they are fun to share. I don't know if I've shared all of them before. Anyway, guys, if you were able to get through this video, I hope you enjoyed it. It's fun to look at these super treasure hunts, and hope that was a good video. Thanks, everybody. If you want more story time later, let me know. I'll see if I can think up some of my other older stories about collecting. Thanks, everybody. Bye.